Sometimes life happens
We see you.
and you feel all alone
We feel you.
with nowhere to go.
We got you.
So many questions unanswered.
We understand. Yeah.
And you feel like you can't
But God
wrestle with
understands.
your own thoughts. This is for you
Yeah.
when life happens and it makes you feel like you're off the beat, 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 off the beat. Real authentic conversations. All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Offbeat Podcast. I'm your host, Jorge Ambriz, where we have real, authentic conversations. And today we have an amazing episode for you guys. Now, let me ask you something. Have you ever thought about why social media? If you're a business owner and maybe you're in a certain type of industry where you say, you know what? Social media doesn't really matter to me. Like, what's the point of having social media? I'm in a complete different industry. My stuff's not so much entertainment. What's the point? Well, today's guest, man, we're going to have a conversation about, how he is, honestly, in my opinion, he's blowing up. He's blowing up on social media. His business is blowing up. And I hope that today he shares some of his secrets to that success. And at the same time, like I was telling him earlier, he's actually been a huge part in my selling point to my potential customers and customers when it comes to social media, because what he does is truly amazing. So let's welcome Eric Escobar. Let's go, the ADU King.
What's up, dude? I'll be waiting for my commission check at the end of the year for using me as I'm just messing with you.
Let's scratch that. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, dude, social media is where we live at today. It's not the TV. It's not radio. It's everybody looking at their phone.
Yeah.
And if you're not on social media, I don't care what business you're in, bro. You could be in construction. Construction is boring for the most part.
Yeah.
Anything you do, bro. Stay-at-home mom. If you want to make some money, like, social media is where it's at, dude.
Yeah, man. And we're gonna have an exciting conversation about that. And it's true though. Like, I really do use your example. I came across your page. I want to say about 8 months ago. I think I was helping at that time. I have a cousin who has a construction business. They do luxury pools, modern pools, and they were following you already. And so when I picked up your page, I was like, because ADUs are always something that I've been interested in. I was like, ADUs, we have an ADU here in our home and so we're always trying to look for that financial freedom, so when I saw your page, I was like, oh, let me follow. I sent it to myself, but I started to see your content, bro. And I started to see, like, dang, like, the knowledge and the education that you provide that I feel a lot of people in the construction industry will most likely shy away from. They're I mean, you've been in how long have you been in construction for?
Just my whole life.
Your whole life. So you pretty much grew up.
Pops has been in construction. That's how everything started, bro.
Yeah. So as much as I grew up too. My dad was a framer growing up, you know. So we would go to the job site sometimes with him and everything. But one of the things is, like, man, sharing secrets, that's like a no-no. Even in Mexico, I remember we would go in el albañil, el maestro, it's like, hey, share the secrets. Nah.
Yep.
So, but what you do, man, is you share a lot of secrets, a lot of education, a lot of knowledge, man. So tell me about that.
The thing is, bro, everybody wants to know, but not everybody's going to do it. So the more people you're exposed to and know about you as a person, like, the more somebody's going to want to do business with you. Maybe not them, but they might refer you to somebody else.
Yeah.
Last night I live in the city of Downey. I was with the city council people. They know me from social media, dude. Like, they'll text me because they know me from social media.
That's crazy.
So I'll show up somewhere and people are like, hey, you're the ADU guy. Cool, I'll be the ADU guy. No, I don't have a problem.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, my cousin's going to call you. She wants to do her ADU. And it's because there's a trust factor already.
Yeah.
Like, my brand has grown so much on social media that there's a trust factor there as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like, forget about that part. It's like, this is a $200,000, $300,000 item, an ADU.
Right.
For the most part, that's where you're at, right? It's a lot of trust. There's a lot of contractors that'll run off and take your money, dude.
Yeah.
And that's a big issue in the construction world. So I said, okay, what could we do in order to flip that around.
Right.
Like, so we could be like, hey, here's all our cards for anybody that wants to work with us. So now it's like they know about me, right? We own real estate. So there's things for us to lose if we screw somebody over.
Right.
You get me?
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, okay, I'm going to show everybody what I'm doing. I have no problem. And there will be customers that will come to us.
Yeah.
So that's a huge thing for us.
Yeah. And I love that you said that, because that's one of the things that I always, when I sit down with people and even ourselves, it's how can we put ourselves, or how can we put you guys out there? Because we talked about that earlier. And I like what you said too, is, social media is the modern day business card.
Yep.
The modern day flyer. It's like wherever these flyers and business cards go. Back then, yeah, it was very common. Door to door, boom, boom, boom. Hey, how you doing? I'm so-and-so. Here's my card. You're giving that level of presence in that neighborhood, in that community. You're trying to build that level of trust. But now with social media, man, it's like you can magnify that, 10, 20 times, because now you're inviting people into your world, into your life.
And it doesn't mean that the business cards don't work. It doesn't mean that the flyer doesn't work. But let's just say you're spending $100 on flyers.
Yeah.
What about if you spend $100 on videos? That'd be a lot more powerful. You get a good quality video, you put that out there, or your message, like you practice on this video and you make sure like, hey, what do I do? What am I selling?
Yeah.
So like really my topic doesn't get off that. It's what I do, what I'm selling. That's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And how could I get people to trust me to do their job?
Yeah.
Because that's the biggest thing in any business you do, bro. It's always going to come down to trust, and do they like you?
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that's probably why I feel that a lot of people, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or maybe chime in, I feel like that's why a lot of people are afraid to go onto social media, is because it's like, am I going to be likable?
Yeah.
Right?
I could see that, but it's like, you told me, what's your secret sauce? You told me earlier, I said nothing. It's like who I am here now talking to you, that's who I am. Yeah. With Bernie, that's who I am with everybody, bro.
Yeah.
Like obviously we'll talk a little bit more smack, but but it doesn't change. Like who I am at work with the guys, that's it, bro. Like it doesn't change. So be you.
Yeah.
You're saying having authentic conversations, be authentic, and that's what it is, dude. And if people are gonna like you, some people are gonna hate you. A lot of people talk crap on social media. As soon as your following gets a little bigger, people just want to throw stabs at you. And does it hurt? It bothers, but you got to keep moving forward, because at the end of the day, who am I doing this for? I'm not doing it for clout, bro. I'm doing it to obviously make sure customers trust us, to monetize, to make money, right? To feed my family. My parents, my dad works off the business, so he makes money. My mom gets paid off of that too, right? My brother and his family and all our workers. So we're talking about me making a video is depending, like a lot of families depend on me making a video.
Yeah.
So you've changed the frame. Yes, bro.
Your perspective.
You changed the frame on that. And it's changing the perspective, but it's actually true.
Yeah.
Because if I stop making videos, we stop getting customers.
Right. Yeah. That's so true, man. And what started you to say, you know what, let's go. Let's go in full throttle in social media?
So we started with a little investment in Downey, bro. We bought a house. We're building an ADU. My mentor owns 450 houses, bro. So he's like, hey, who's building this? Right? He rolls up in a Rolls Royce, bro. And it used to be like a crack house, that house I bought. Okay. And he thought, and like he rolls up in the Rolls Royce. So it was a crack house. So guess what all the neighbors are thinking, dude? You know exactly what they're thinking.
Vende drogas?
Vende drogas, uh-huh. And some Asian dude just pulls up, and they're like, "Wait, this guy pulled up in a Rolls Royce." And so he then asked me, "Hey, who's building this?" I said, "We are." He's like, "How are you guys with business?" I said, so, not good, not bad. COVID had just hit, and we're like, we don't like, this is what we're doing. He's like, "Okay, cool." So he's like, "You want more customers?" I'm like, "Who doesn't?" Right? He's like, "Okay, cool. Make 3 videos a day for a year, and then you're not gonna know what to do with all those customers."
Yeah.
Fast forward 2 years later, 3 years later. That's in the position we're in right now. Like there's a waiting list for us, bro.
That's crazy.
And it's all been through creating 3 videos a day. Now Reels even helps you out more. Right. And just giving people information that they would have to pay somebody for.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that, man. And who's your mentor? I kind of have an idea who it might be.
That's when.
Yeah, okay. As soon as you said Asian, and then I put two and two together.
He's a good dude, but you see,
Yeah.
a lot of people, it's so crazy because us as Hispanics, we tend to like want to stay in our little bubble.
Yeah.
But it's like somebody like him, like my dad calls him my Asian uncle, bro. Like he knows my dad.
Yeah.
Like they've like talked and everything, you know? And my dad's like grateful for him, right? So he's like, oh, go hang out with your Asian uncle. But us as Hispanics, like, oh, he's Asian, he's not gonna help me. Oh, he's this, and not gonna help me. And I'm like, dude, the person that I've gotten the help the most from has been black, Asian, white, everything, bro. And so it's like, it doesn't matter. Like race doesn't matter to me. It matters like, are you good or are you bad? That's it. That's
Right. And I think what's important too is the way your framework also operates too, like your perspective. Like you said, it's like you look at the bigger picture. Like I eat from this. My family eats from this. My parents eat from this. Like, so you go into that dark perspective in the sense to motivate you. And so, yeah, like when you have that type of motivation, you don't care who you're working with. What you care about is like, how are they going to help you? How are you going to get to that point, to meet that goal that you want?
Yeah.
And I think that's so important. Like when it comes to wanting to work on social media is, man, we have to really silence the voices around us, and even if it is like, if you struggle with insecurity, maybe, or if you struggle with, man, are they going to like me or anything like that? I really like that perspective that you give. You say, man, you know what? If I don't do this, my business depends on it. Yep. My family depends on this. So I got to do it.
If all the people that we all know on social media, bro, we're talking about millionaires, billionaires, are on social media producing content, what makes us special that we shouldn't? Right. This guy does not have to work a single day in his life, bro. And he does 3 videos a day, YouTube videos, has 2 camera guys running with him.
Yeah.
Like obviously, and when he first went to my property, it was him, his wife, and his 2 kids on the rows. He says, here, gives the video to his son, 11 years old at the time, record us. We shot a video there, bro. He's showcasing how one of his students was able to buy a house and do an ADU as an investment, right? If he's going to do that, and he doesn't have to work a day in his life, what makes me so special that I shouldn't?
Yeah. Yeah, it's true, man. It's kind of like going back in the days, like when before social media, that's what makes the difference between the person that's going to go out with those 5,000 flyers and the person that is just going to be sitting in their office waiting for business to come.
I think the misconception, bro, that a lot of people have about social is like, it's about the hype. It's about getting the followers. I could care less, bro.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's like, how many customers could I get? And how many, here's another thing. How many people could I actually help? Because there's a lot of people I don't do ADUs for that they tell me, dude, thank you, I finished my ADU. Great, awesome. You didn't get hustled by a contractor.
Yeah.
So every one of those messages I get, that's
so
awesome.
Yeah.
Every message I get that, damn, I lost $200K to a contractor.
Dang.
I lost $250. I get those messages. Like somebody stole their money, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, why didn't I post more content?
Yeah.
Because people lose their livelihoods.
Yeah.
In this construction world.
Yeah.
To shady contractors, unlicensed contractors that are just literally out there doing a little bit of work, get the large deposit and run.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I help my family and I think I help society too.
No, yeah, man. I mean, that's I think it was, no, I think no, it wasn't from you. I think this was from my cousin, but talking about that, like I remember having an experience with a contractor one time, and it was before, I didn't know. I didn't have any knowledge. I didn't have any information. And it was, I remember, I think my wife remembers, remember the cement guy?
Oh, yeah.
So we're
the cement guy.
The cement guy. Todos los cementeros. Eh? So we were putting cement in our back. I got tired of the yard. Anyways, we're like, so, and this person came referred. And he came and, he's like, oh, yeah, do it for this.
Who did he come referred by?
By a friend.
By one of their friends?
No. He was one of my friends.
Okay, but did he do work for him?
He did work for him.
Okay.
Yeah, he did work for him. It was nice work. He showed me pictures, videos, and everything. It was good work. And so he came, and I was like, okay, well, you know, I kind of felt like I could trust him. That was my fault, and I didn't do my research either. And so he's like, this is the price. I'm like, okay, cool. When can you start? Oh, I could start. I could start Monday. I was like, okay, perfect. Come by. Let's do it. Let's handle it. He comes by with his workers, and yeah, they start hauling out dirt. They start doing. So I'm like, okay, cool. And I think the job was gonna be, I think it was like maybe like 5,000 or something like that. I don't remember. It was something like that. It was like gonna be like $5,000. And so yo de confiado, I'm like, you know what? Like,
You shot him the 5.
almost. I shot him like 4, like 3 or 4, and I'm like, you know what? Just to show that, hey, this is, you know,
Real.
Like, you know, I'm not gonna back out on this deal. Boom. And not knowing that, I guess it's just 10%, right? 10% or 1,000 max, right?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I didn't know any of that. And so this guy ghosted me, man, for like, he showed up that day. They did a little bit of hauling. They hauled up most of the stuff. And I think he ghosted me for about, what was it, like a month, babe? I think it was, it was like a month.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a month that he was just ghosting me and telling me. And man, I started to like get nervous. I'm like, man, this guy, you know. And then it was crazy because maybe a week before he finally, you know, came through, my friend, he sent me an email from the HOA where he was doing jobs at.
Yeah.
And I guess they were like, hey, you know what? This person, this individual, for so-and-so business, they're no longer allowed to do business here in this HOA.
Right.
You know, because we've been getting complaints of unfinished jobs, getting complaints of collecting deposits. And then I'm like, oh, man, like, I was like, man, I'm really screwed now, man. Like, we lost that money. And man, I started searching him. I started searching where he lived. I started searching.
The reason why I asked you who referred you,
yeah,
a lot of times in the Mexican Latino world, we all know somebody in our family that does it.
yeah,
So you want your family to do good. There's people in my family I would never refer. And they're my family. I would not. I'd be like, nope.
Yeah,
I don't know anybody.
yeah,
Because I know their word is trash.
yeah,
But a lot of people don't care. They just want their cousin to win, bro.
yeah,
And you don't like you. So if your cousin is trash and I refer you my cousin, then I become trash.
yeah. Yeah, because now you're like, well, why did he refer me?
Yeah. So that's why I tell people, don't go based on this person referring you because, it's your family member. It's their family member. That's the worst referral.
Yeah, yeah,
So go based on, hey, people that he's done work for, go check the reviews out, go to the job sites.
yeah.
If he doesn't have a job site to show you, then it's like, well, what are you really doing?
Right.
I could take you to 5 right now if you wanted to go see an ADU.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy, man. And I guess that's why what you do is really so valuable, you know, because you really do educate, you know, just watching a few of your videos, you could just be like, man, like you said, you could have the knowledge and say, okay, I know the ins and the outs of the ADU. It doesn't mean that I'm going to do it on my own, but at least you feel comfortable enough, because I think that's the biggest misconception, not misconception, but the biggest hurdle, I guess, in the construction industry. For example, me, like, I might have grown up with my dad being a framer and everything, but it doesn't mean I know everything about construction.
Yep.
So when it comes to talking to a contractor, a lot of times because I'm ignorant maybe, or a lot of times because we're ignorant on the subject, we don't know what questions to ask.
Right.
And I think that's where sometimes we can get, you know, screwed over, because it's like, well, we didn't ask the right questions. You know, so with content like that, that's available out there like yours, it really does help us put the pieces to the puzzle.
Right.
You know?
I agree.
So, and fast forward, 2020, the pandemic hits. You say, man, all right, 3 videos a day. And when did you really start to see, you know, an increase in volume, an increase in sales through social media?
As soon as a month in, we got a customer, bro.
A month in.
A month in, we got a customer from
Nice.
social media. It happened to be an old client of mine, and I owned gyms before. And
okay.
She was like, okay, cool. Like, so marketing is not new to me. It's just a different thing.
Yeah.
She said, hey, I want to do an ADU and I want to redo my whole house. We're talking about $300,000 ticket, bro, from 1 month of doing social media.
Wow.
So it's kind of like, obviously we didn't profit off 300. That's besides the point, but your business is making a $300,000 sale
Right.
off of social media.
Yeah.
So I showed my dad, I'm like, look, she came from Instagram. He said, stop doing anything else. Let's record more videos.
Really? Your dad?
My dad's all in, bro. He's like, let's roll. Like, and then he saw Thatch's Instagram, and he sees his Instagram. Like, he's like, oh shit, he has a lot of properties.
Yeah.
So he's like, this Instagram stuff works.
Yeah.
So he's like, hey, let's just keep doing more videos. So at the beginning, before Bernie came through and then our other video guy came through, it was just my dad recording me, or I would literally tell one of the workers to stop working and record me. Or if I didn't have anybody, I'd tell my wife, record me. Or I'd grab the phone and flip it around and start recording myself.
Yeah.
Right? And it's just taking action every day, posting a video. And a lot of people think it needs to be complicated. It needs to be these high-end cameras.
Yeah.
And it doesn't. I would say 90% of my videos come from my phone.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the thing, bro. It's like, keep going.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, first thing that I want to kind of touch on is what's really cool is that, because how old is your dad? If you don't mind me asking.
62.
So he's 62. So would you say he's like old school? Where's he from?
Michoacan, Zamora.
Oh, okay. Both Michoacanos.
Yeah.
My family's from Michoacan too. So that's interesting to me that your dad, you know what I mean, would say, stop doing what you're doing. Let's record. I think that's pretty cool, because I think that, especially when it comes to the older generation, I feel for them, it's a lot harder to accept and to say social media.
It was, but it wasn't, bro, because I came with him with proof. Like once he saw, and I had been doing, I opened up in a matter of 3 years, 4 gyms, bro. So, and it was through paid advertising. So this is organic, what we're doing now with social media.
Yeah.
The other way was paid, but they're both paid. I got to hire somebody. So they're both paid somewhere.
Right.
Right. But the other way was I would pay for ads on Facebook, for Instagram.
Yeah.
We would do challenges. We would do all that stuff to get customers in the door. Now, so he knew he had some knowledge that I knew stuff about marketing.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, now we just got to flip it into construction. Construction running ads as a company, people can't relate to a company because it's such a big ticket item. People don't relate. They relate to a person. So a lot of people are like, oh, but it's you. I'm like, yeah, I want people to know who I am. And then a personal brand's always going to be like, it's going to be with you forever, no matter what you jump into. Personal brand's everything.
Yeah. Touch a little bit on that, man, because I think a lot of people need to understand that more. That, because I know a lot of businesses that they'll do that. They'll create something, a graphic, or they'll create something on Canva with their company logo and then just run an ad. And that's all they'll do. But they'll never introduce themselves. Talk about why they should change that mindset.
Think about it, bro. We have Gary Vee. Nobody really knows his company.
I don't even know what business is here.
Exactly. They know Gary Vee.
Yeah.
Grant Cardone. People like him. People hate him.
10X.
But they know him.
Yeah, that's true.
And I could keep naming people off. Thatch. People know Thatch. They don't know his company. But every time I'm with him, people stop in the middle of the road and want to take pictures with them, bro. Whether we're here in LA, in Seattle, it happens all the time.
Yeah, that's the Burr guy.
That's the Burr guy. Exactly that.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the Burr guy. Let me take a picture with you. And they'll stop in the middle of the road. Yeah. And maybe that person doesn't do business with him, but his cousin might have a house in Seattle that he wants to get rid of. And they hit him up. I know the Burr guy in Seattle. Talk to him.
Yeah. So
that's the huge part of a personal brand. And the Coca-Colas, that's old school, bro. Like that's long money, bro. That's money that's been around for generations and generations. Right. But how could little guys like us compete? Is getting our face out there.
Yeah.
Getting our face out there. Now you recognize me. I'm walking on the street and people stop me, bro. Yeah. And it's not like I don't feel it like, oh, I'm better or oh yeah, I'm a superstar. It's not even that. It's just, hey, more people recognize you, more people are willing to do business with you.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Yeah, because that's something that is definitely also, one of the things that we really try to talk when we talk to business owners. And it reminds me of there's a business owner that we work with, and I feel that she owns two restaurants here in local, and I feel that she's really good at that. I feel like a lot of people she's been able to brand herself.
Yeah.
Like she's like, okay, like they know who she is. And a lot of people visit her restaurant and follow her restaurant because of who she is, and that's why I try to explain to people, because it's like you can have the restaurant, your restaurant could be the best, it can
Yeah.
have the best food. But if you just market it as a restaurant, like people are gonna know to where they know. They're gonna know if they know someone that has good tacos, they're gonna go there.
Yeah.
If they know, like, I mean, they're gonna know to what they're gonna default automatic to what they know. Unless you introduce yourself in a way where it's like, hey, let me go try that. Let me go test that out. Let me see how it is based off this person, based on the perception, because yeah, it's you can have there's people, like I always say, like there's restaurants, there's places. I don't know why I like to pick on restaurants, but probably just the best way to explain it. But you can have a restaurant that doesn't probably have the best food, but if they know how to market themselves, if they have a good personal brand, what I mean, it's gonna just draw people, to that place.
And then touching on that, you have a good brand, right? Like you draw people. Now you have to fulfill too.
Right.
Because if you sell shit, you could only sell shit so many times.
Yeah.
You got to fulfill.
Yeah.
So there's been times, let's just say, things don't go perfectly. Even if I have to lose money, I'll make it right. Because then the referrals come later on. If I say, nope, that's too bad, that's what it is,
Yeah.
then referrals won't come. People hear about me through social media. Oh, yeah, I did work with him. He sucks.
Yeah.
So social media is as much as important as making the video as actually fulfilling on the back end.
Yeah.
So you can only sell shitty tacos so many times, bro.
Yeah. Until eventually somebody that is skilled in social media comes and just makes a video and destroys you.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. That's so true. And I love what you said right now too about about fulfilling your promises, right? About fulfilling the job and stuff, and even being able to humble yourself and say, okay, you know what? If there's something that we have to fix, if there's something that we have to correct, if I'm gonna lose money from this, I'd rather do that. How important is that because that speaks to integrity, right? How important is integrity in business?
It's everything, bro. Integrity, like even before social media, it's integrity. This guy I keep telling you about, Thatch, he's like, dude, you have 3 kids. Your 2 kids and your personal brand, your reputation. That's your 3rd kid. You ruin your reputation, you're done.
Yeah.
So he says, hey, in construction, if you ruin your reputation and you're ended up and known as a sleazebag, you're done.
Yeah.
I can't even refer you anymore.
Yeah.
Right? Because then he becomes a dirtbag too.
Right. Right.
So 3 kids, and you probably have 4 kids. Your reputation and your 3 kids.
3 kids. I didn't want no more kids, bro.
It's just what it is.
No,
like if you don't, if
true.
you have a bad rep, bro, it doesn't matter how much marketing you do. You're never gonna be able to like keep the organic referrals coming,
Right.
because social media exposes you, but then people do their homework.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you an interesting story. This lady, she's an Asian lady, doesn't and has nothing to do with them. She mentioned it to somebody up in where is it at? Up north. I don't know. I forgot the state. And he referred me. Then she asked one of her friends here. Yeah, we've used them before. So then she did her homework online and she sees the reviews. So she's like, so many people are referring you. It's like anytime I talk about ADUs, you come up to mind. You come out.
Yeah.
So the referral method, it works so many ways. Like they could read your content, they'll go on social media, they can check your reviews, they talk to people. So it doesn't mean that person has to be the customer. It could be their friend. So it's everything, bro. Your reputation's always going to be everything.
That's beautiful. No, that's good. That's really good. And has there ever been a situation where I don't know if you want to tell a story of
Yeah.
a situation that did go bad and you had to fix it and
Mm-hmm.
you lost money doing that?
Yeah. One of our subcontractors put in the flooring. The flooring came out horrible, bro. Like it looked like it was a mountain going up and down, up and down.
Was it tile?
Yeah. No,
Tile-
regular
what-
vinyl.
Oh,
Regular vinyl flooring, like what's it called? LVP.
like the wood,
Yeah,
the wood style.
wood style. So the owner's like, her budget was $2.25 a foot, right? That's the budget, $2.25 a foot. She's like, hey, you know what? I like it. I'm like, cool. Let me know what you want. I'll make sure to get it done right. She chose a $6 tile.
Dang.
So installation of tiles a lot more expensive.
Right.
We had now the product was a lot more expensive. I ate it, bro. I said, all right, cool. Here's another thing. She had been my friend she's still my friend for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
You think I'm not going to take care of my friend over the loss was like $2,500 bucks?
Yeah.
Got you. No doubt.
Yeah.
Probably more than 2,500. The labor was just 2,500. So probably we're looking like at 5,000 bucks.
Man.
Yeah.
No, yeah. And
it hurts. And when it's happening, it's like, damn, dude, I lost 5,000 bucks.
yeah.
But then, full story, she runs for veterans housing. Like that's something she's doing. Like she got hired for that. And they're gonna start this big housing project worth millions and millions of dollars. The contract. It's like, hey Eric, would you be interested? You and your dad doing that? Nothing's happened yet.
Right.
But if I would have walked away and not done the right thing, that I wouldn't even been considered, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have been like, no, that's the way the floor is.
Yeah.
Or give it a few days or give it a few weeks, right?
Most guys would do that, bro.
A lot of people do that, man. And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what really speaks into your integrity because yeah, I mean, there's a lot of contractors that they'll burn their friends. Like, they don't even care how long they've known the person. I mean, I'm sure you know of a lot of relationships between friends and their contractors, just completely just after they do a job for them. I think that's one of the things that a lot of people are even, because I feel the other way around, like where sometimes I'm that type too. I'm like where if somebody's referring me and they know them, now I'm skeptical. I'm like, well, if you know them, like sometimes I'd rather go with someone I don't know.
Yeah.
That I, can kind of vet and kind of look as opposed to going with someone. Cause then I feel like when I go with someone I know, then I have to kind of be more lenient. And not be able to demand and, but being able to hear that from you and be able to like, look, like, this is the way I work, even if I have to eat it, even if there's not going to be any profit, but what's more important to me is my reputation, my integrity, and keeping that referral base flowing.
Yeah. I think it's thinking long-term and short-term. Back to social media.
Yeah.
Social media is not one video and I'm done. It's a long game, bro.
Right.
It's always, and how to reinvent yourself on social.
Yeah.
Always. Like, how could we do videos a little better? Oh, that video hit. How could we do more of these type of videos?
Yeah.
Same thing goes in construction. Like, it's a long game too. I'm like, yes, we might lose money on this project, but she might refer me I don't know, a crazy project that we're going to make good money from in the future.
Yeah.
So that's the way I always see it. It's a long game.
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah. And I always tell people when it comes to social media, when it comes to videos, like, I feel like, like the famous saying, like, I know a guy, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know a guy. Like, social media is like the modern day, I know a guy. Like, even though you don't directly know someone, but you know a guy. You know a guy from social media. Like, hey, I've been watching these videos from this person. Like, let me send you over,
Yeah.
Hey, I've been watching this attorney's video, on immigration. Let me, she says some interesting things. Let me send it over to you.
Yep.
Social media is like that. It's like, I know a guy,
And here's a crazy thing, dude. It's free. Yeah. It's free. Like, you could post 10 videos a day if you want to. Nobody's going to charge you.
Yeah.
And if you get one good video, it shows it to a lot more people for free.
For free.
What I had to pay for just 8 years ago to advertise for Facebook. Was it Facebook? That's when barely Instagram had been bought out by Facebook. So you're doing Facebook ads that you had to pay for.
Right.
They cut off organic. on Facebook. So Facebook, you had Facebook pages, which I think they still exist.
Yeah.
They cut off organic. So only way you could get your content out there, you had to pay to get the reach out there, even to your own people that follow the page.
Well, yeah, that's why like if you had a Facebook page, it like if you went from a personal to a Facebook page, you saw the difference right away.
Yeah.
Like you'd go from your story would be like 1-2 views. And then it's like, what the heck happened? Like because
you got to pay to play. And now they're like, hey, you make good content, we'll pay you.
Yeah.
Now they're like, TikTok's willing to pay you. Instagram pays you a little bit. They pay you whatever, right? But then the most important thing is like you could pay yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
By making good content and keeping your business running.
Yeah, I love that. Have you been approached with that? Like, do you make money off of your like through the reels or
through
TikTok
Instagram? But it's not a lot, bro. But you know, like, and my mistake, which we got to work on, it's not his mistake, my mistake.
Is that his way of saying?
No, it really is. No, it really is my mistake. I got to be better at TikTok because my demographic of people that own a home is more on Instagram right now, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so that own a home and could do an ADU, it's more on Instagram. So that's why I hate Instagram hard. But I got to do a better job of actually going on TikTok and repurposing the same content just on TikTok and YouTube. And I don't do that, which I should be doing.
Yeah. And that's something that you've already strategized or?
Yeah. But it's just actually doing it.
Yeah. You want to share like a little bit? Because maybe that could give an example of what people mean. Because yeah, it's true. You know, your TikTok, you know, it's like for example, even me, like on I have more followers on TikTok, of course, and all that, you know, but it's I guess the algorithms, everything, they're just different. And I'm still learning a lot about it too.
So TikTok, it's for me, what I've seen, it's more of a younger crowd, right?
Yeah.
It's going to get old. It's going to mature, right? Like in all these platforms. So like Facebook is like my dad. Instagram is like our age. And then TikTok's like probably younger than me, right?
Like the Gen Z, right?
So for me, I think who owns a home for my business? Instagram. So I hit Instagram and we'll do some Facebook here and there. And I stay away from TikTok. It's more of an internal thing. Me. It's nothing else. It's me. I'm like, oh, nobody owns a home anyway. But that age group is going to mature. And there is some people like myself. I consume a lot of content on TikTok. So I'm like, if I'm consuming, more people in my age group are starting to consume too. So I started venturing off from Instagram into TikTok more. So if I'm doing it as a consumer, I think other people are doing it too now.
Yeah.
So I got to start going on TikTok more.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like that's where I see a lot of when it comes like in construction in that niche. That's where I see a lot of the funny videos, like the funny construction videos, and you know, like the stories of like, you know, there's just some crazy things that happen, like where customer didn't pay. I don't know if you've seen those. Customer didn't pay, and then they just wreck.
Supposedly.
What do you think that's? Do you think that's staged?
Yeah.
I think that's staged, huh?
Bro, you go to jail.
You go to jail for that, yeah. It's like, bro, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, you can't do that.
So, are we gonna see you do some?
Turn
down an ADU.
I've yet to have a customer not pay us.
Yeah.
And it goes back to branding, bro. Like we do so much that we only get the best of the best customers, and I don't deal with anything less. So I'm already telling you how much things are gonna cost. I'm already like telling you everything. So when you come to me, it's like you already have financing. You already know what it's gonna cost you more or less. So it automatically, social media automatically eliminates the people I wouldn't want to work with anyways, because they don't like what I have to say anyways. So it kind of excludes those people already.
Yeah. I love it. And because I'm kind of going back to the TikTok thing, I think that there's probably, I mean, I don't know, but it seems like, because we're talking about how, you know, it's the younger generation and the up and coming generation. But like you said, there's potential in that, because eventually they are going to venture into home owning, ADUs and all that. But even like it sounds like I don't know if you've thought of it, but it sounds like a good potential even for like, you ever thought about doing like mentorship programs and stuff like that for what you do?
Yeah.
Because that sounds like a good opportunity in through TikTok, right?
Yeah, no. It's definitely something. It's an own personal thing. Like
Yeah.
now it's like Bernie's on. We got to flip the switch on it, you know. But it's me. It has nothing to do
No,
with
of course. Yeah. No, that's cool. I mean, I think that's everyone. I think with every new platform that comes out, it's like right now Threads, right? I think that's the most recent thing that came out. it's like, what am I doing? What am I going to do with threads? You know, but I mean, I love what Gary V, like Gary V, he's big on that. I love what the things that he says. Cause he's just straight out. He's to the point, and he's just like,
you got to also remember he has like a 20-person team for his personal brand, which 25, right? So it's like, okay, I don't have the bandwidth to do all the platforms. I just don't.
Right.
So I say, which 2 or 3 is best for me? So for somebody that's just starting, it's like, which one you could focus on and you like that you consume content and that you could produce content in, and that's the one you tackle.
yeah.
So that one will get you exposure on the rest of them.
Right. Yeah, that's a good strategy. I like that because it's not so much about taking on everything. You know, it is being able to have those options and say, man, there's all these options. But I agree with that. With someone who's starting out, it's like, look, just don't overwhelm yourself. Just pick 1, 2, or 3 of them, or just even one of them, and just stick with that and bombard it.
Another big thing for somebody that's just starting is like, what's the purpose of your social media? Like, what are you doing it for? You know exactly what I'm doing it for. It's like, give people knowledge, but also get customers.
Yeah.
I have no shame in saying that. But if you're just doing it to like, just to do it, like, what's your purpose? Are you giving value as far as like, or who are you? What do you represent? I represent ADUs. I build ADUs for customers. I build them for myself. That's all I do.
Right.
And we'll throw in some family stuff here and there.
Yeah.
So it's always like, what are you using your social media for?
Right. Yeah. No, that's good. That's good. And another thing that you said earlier that I love is because I know that's another thing that keeps a lot of people from social media is my quality's not that great. Yeah. But what you said earlier was like 90% of my content is from my phone. You know, and I think that's one of the things that keeps a lot of people is that because there is a lot of good content out there. You know, there is a lot of good stuff where it's like, man, I don't want to start because my stuff's going to look ugly.
Bro, some of the videos that have gone the most viral, I'm like, this shit's not going to hit, dude. And I post it and it's the ones that hit. So it's like, who am I? I don't know what's going to do good. You don't know.
You never know.
So just post it.
Yeah.
Just post it and then see where it goes.
Yeah.
If it flops, it flops.
Yeah.
But if you don't post or you're like, oh, what if my quality's not good? Oh, what if my hair's not done? What if I didn't get a haircut? Yeah. What if I'm wearing Invisalign and I have a lisp?
Oh, is that why you have a lisp?
I don't care, bro. I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, it's about, is this going to feed my family?
Exactly.
And my workers, yes or no?
Yeah.
And people like comment, oh, you and your lisp, or you are like just mean shit, bro. And it's just like, it doesn't matter. Like, at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter, bro.
Yeah.
Because what matters is everybody getting taken care of around me?
Yeah. No, I love that, bro, because that's one of the things, like, I struggle, bro. Like, to be honest with you, I struggled so much when starting this podcast because I was like back and forth with what, because we would do, you know, we would talk to a lot of people. We would sit down. You know, we went through a big healing journey, a lot of stuff that we went through. So we would sit down with couples, with a lot of different people. And so they're like, man, we gotta put this stuff on a podcast. We gotta put this stuff on a podcast. And I was like, man, you know what? Like, that was, even to this day, like, just taking pictures, like, you know, we're gonna take family pictures and I dread it. I'm just like, I don't like it either. I don't like it, you know, but at the same time, what drove me was like, no, you know what? Something happened in my life that helped me along the way, you know, and I want to be able to help others. Whoever hears that, cool. Whoever doesn't, cool. And even that though, like, I'm trying to get better at not just so much releasing reels, you know, but even more like of myself, you know, being more out there. But that's big struggle for people, you know, and I know a lot of business owners that I've spoken to, you know, I've made videos for people where it's like, man, I'm like, dude, this is good. This is good content. Like, you should post it. You should release it. Ha, no, let's wait. And I'm like, like, for what? Like, what are you waiting for? You know, like, it's like, there's never going to be a good time, I think, you know, it's like, you know, but I think sometimes people want to relate. Because I think that's another big thing, and maybe you can touch on, is credibility and then versus what's on camera. You know, like, for example, in your industry in construction, I think sometimes people back down because it's like, well, I'm not as successful. You know, it's not so much that they want to portray something that they're not, but sometimes I feel that they feel, well, I'm not as successful. What am I going to say?
What you're doing. That's it. What
Yeah.
you're doing or what you've done. So this is one reason why I could talk with confidence about ADUs, because I've done them for myself and I've done them for customers.
Yeah.
So it's not theory. It's facts, what I'm talking about.
Right.
So that's why nobody could take that away from me. Even though all the people want to talk shit, as many shit talkers I get,
Yeah.
as many people sending me DMs and commenting, thank you.
Yeah.
So it's just what I've done.
Yeah.
And doing it from a place of, here's what I've learned. Here's what I've done for myself.
Yeah.
Maybe you could do it too. If you want to do it, cool.
Yeah.
If you don't, here's what my customers have done. So it's coming from a place of doing it and have done it, not, hey, I want to teach you something I haven't done myself.
Right. Yeah. That's good, man. That's really good. So switching gears a little bit.
Yeah.
We'll kind of come back to ADUs, but family life, man. So we're talking, you have 2 kids, right? Married, 2 kids. What are their ages?
6 and 1, bro. 6-year-old boy
6-year-old.
and 1-year-old girl.
Yeah. And how long you been married for?
We're going on 8 years, bro.
All right, cool. And
8 years together, 15. Took me a little while, bro.
That's what's up, man. And how's that been? Like, how do you keep, so, because you got a big social media presence, you have, you know, your business as well. And then you're also, you know, content, you know, that's, because I feel like even though content is part of the business, but that's a whole nother beast within itself.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You know, so how do you keep that balance within, and how does your wife support you with that?
I don't think there's balance, bro. Everybody's balance. Your balance with your wife is different than my balance with my wife.
Yeah.
And the way we met each other, it's like I had a business already. So there's nothing new to, like, people think like, dude, they don't hang out or this. It's like, no, my weekends could be Tuesday, Wednesday. Your weekends have to be Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
I could take off for 2 weeks on vacation. You probably can't. So, and it's not that one is better than the other.
Right.
That's where people confuse this whole balancing. It's my balance with my wife. She's cool with it. I'm cool with it. Our main thing at the end of the day is making sure we're good as a couple and taking care of the kids. Yeah. Protecting the kids at all costs, bro. Especially with shit that's going on right now. It's protecting the kids at all costs.
Yeah.
So that's why we decided to homeschool. Our son being homeschooled. Is he going to become awkward? No, he hangs out with kids. He's fine. He'll talk to you right now. He'll talk to your wife. He'll talk to Bernie. He has no problem talking to people. Why? Because he sees me talking to people all the time.
Right.
So this whole balancing, I really don't like it because everybody's different.
Yeah, exactly.
And you could come and say like, damn, you guys are like your balance is off. I'm like, how do you know?
Exactly. No, 100%, man. And I've recently, not recently, but for a long time, we've had to come to understand that our balance, you know, if that's what you want to call it or label it, because I think that's the thing. We always want to label it like where's the balance, you know, and this is how the balance should be and everything. But it's true. It's like everybody's days and schedules are different. You know, I think where the balance comes in, I think it's when both understand what we're doing. You know, it's like with my wife too, like we both understand what we're doing and we're both comfortable with, you know what, where maybe there was a time where Saturdays and Sundays were the thing, you know, but if Saturdays and Sundays aren't the thing right now because we're in a different journey, but as long as we have that balance, that's what matters. As long as we find that connection, that's what matters. As long as we do what we have to do, that's what matters. Not what nobody else says, none of that. Like whether we have our kids in this or have our kids in that, like that's up to us. That's what works for us.
Here's what I think about it. Like I literally see myself, this may sound weird, as a warrior, bro. I go out and hunt. That's me. I go out and hunt. I make sure the house is good. Everybody's nice and cool. Everybody's cool at home.
Yeah.
And I focus on hunting. I come back and we eat what I kill.
Yeah.
This being customers and like actually like helping them build their ADUs, right? Not actually killing them. But that's my mindset behind it, bro.
I brought home an ADU. Let's see.
a big contract.
Yes. Yeah. No.
That's my mindset. Yeah. And then when I'm home, the armor comes off. I'm chill. I'm with the kids. I try to chill. I'm not gonna say it's perfect, bro, because it's not. It's never. If you work for yourself, I don't know anybody that works for themselves and it's like, oh no, as soon as I come home, no, you're never off the clock, bro.
Yeah. You're constantly thinking.
You're constantly thinking, even when you're in bed, you're
You're
thinking.
yeah.
But I wouldn't want it any other way.
Yeah.
My wife knows that about me. She wouldn't want it any other way. If I'm not doing that, she thinks I'm sick.
Yeah.
That's how she met me. That's how she knows me.
Yeah.
So she's like, are you okay? Like if I'm just like lounging around doing nothing.
Yeah.
So she wants to see me happy. Me being happy is working and providing for people, bro.
Yeah.
And obviously when it's time to be with them, it's time to be with them.
Yeah. And I think that's where sometimes we can miss the mark, I guess you could say, is because sometimes we don't know when to disarm, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like as husbands, we don't know when to kind of put that down and just be present at the moment. You know, even though our minds might be thinking about all these different things, all these different projects, what we have to do, but it's being able to, that's one thing that I'm learning too, is how to disarm. And when it's time to, like, sometimes the kids will come in here while I'm working on a project or something, and I got to learn how to disarm and just be like, hey, what's up, buddy? You know, oh man, that looks good. That looks, you know, because it, you know, I think at the same time, you know, being able to be present in those moments is also very important, right, for our family, you know? And what's one of the things that kind of drew you guys to say, we want to do homeschool? Or what are the many things that drew you guys to say, we're going to do homeschool?
For us, this is going to be very political, and I'm cool with it. The shit that's going on that they're teaching kids right now, bro, I ain't down for it.
Yeah.
My wife, and this is very old school thinking, which I'm cool with. I like old school, bro. I like what my mom and dad have.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Every Mexican, like, not necessarily our generation, but generations before us, it's old school, bro.
Yeah.
And it worked. Like, people came from Mexico with nothing, and it worked because they were old school.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why am I going to change something that's worked? Because society's telling me to change it.
Right.
So my wife's like, hey, I'm going to stay at home with the kids because she grew up with her mom at home. I grew up with my mom at home. And we think that's what's best for our kids.
Yeah.
Obviously, we went to public school, but public school was way different back then, bro.
It really
you
was.
You get bullied. If you talk shit to somebody, you get fucked up on outside. Now you're in my safe zone. Like, no. Like, if my son does something stupid and he needs to get punched, well, why'd you get punched, fool?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And we're like coddling to all these people now, and it's just like, no, like you, like this whole hunting thing, going back to hunting and sales and all that, like, you got to go out there and get it, dude. Nobody's going to give it to you. I was at a city council meeting last night where this entrepreneur is looking for funding from the city to give his nonprofit money to keep the business open. I'm like, wait, how are you giving an entrepreneur? You're not an entrepreneur. You want the city to coddle you. I'm like, we have this shit twisted right now. So going back to at homeschool, I don't like what's going on at these public schools. I don't like what's being taught, bro.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I feel the best thing right now is for us to give them the best possible foundation for them to, like, then choose whatever they want to do when they're older.
Yeah. No, yeah, man. We're right there with you too, you know, that's why we decided to put our two youngest, you know what I mean? And to change their course in education, you know, because same thing, like, we just weren't liking the things that were to come, things that have come, and just, and not just that, but just the way that the education system deals, you know what I mean? It's not so much that for, in our situation, it wasn't so much that we're looking for our kids to be coddled, but it was a situation where sometimes, like, the school system, I believe, fails in the sense of, yeah, like, with everything that's being taught, but at the same time, how they're teaching, you know? And because every kid is different, you know what I mean? And so you got a classroom with 20, 30 kids, you know what I mean? And I, you know, as soon as, like, a kid has a lot of energy, as soon as a kid has, like, you know, oh, they have ADD, or, you know,
that was me growing up. I had a lot of energy, and they would always put me in the back of the class or on the side, hey, time out.
Yeah.
And I know that would be my son.
Right. Yeah.
But he's just like jumping around. He's always jumping. I don't know why he's always jumping, but he's always jumping. I'm like, dude, stop jumping.
Oh yeah, no, my kids aren't here, and the way you can tell they're not here right now is because you don't hear like the floor, the wood. We have wood floor, you know, so you hear everything, bro. Like, so, man, but yeah, they're full of energy, and yeah, you know, it's like, no, I'm not gonna have, you know, I don't feel. I didn't feel comfortable enough to where, like, look, if they can't educate us, our kids, if they can't educate our kids or be able to see the potential in them and see the things in them, why would I feel comfortable, you know, letting them teach all this other stuff that they're trying to put into their curriculums, you know? So for me, it's like, you know what, like, I'm either going to complain about it or I'm going to do something about it,
Yep.
you know, and it's simple. Yeah. And it's like, that's when we made the decision. It's like, you know what, like, well, we're going to do something about it. You know, we're going to take control of this. Whatever happens, you know, it happens. But at least, you know what, if I think somebody said it, I think it was Grant Cardone that said, he's like, if I'm going to mess up my kids, if my kids are going to be messed up, then at least I messed them up. Yeah. You know what I mean? And not the other way around where it's like, where did they go wrong? It's like, no, I'd rather just.
Well, the lady that we're doing homeschool through the church, right? She told me enrollment was up like 7x from last year.
Oh yeah.
So we're not the only ones thinking this, bro.
Oh no.
Like I remember before homeschool was like, oh damn, he's being homeschooled when we were growing up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It was weird. And now it's like now it's like, oh, you're homeschooling. Tell me about it. I'm interested.
Oh yeah.
Like all my friends are like, how's it going? Like, because we have kids around the same age and they're growing up and they're like, how is it? And I'm just like, it's good. I like it. You know, and my wife likes it. You know, she's like, it's challenging at times.
Of course.
But, you know, it is what it is, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, no, like I see my wife sometimes and I mean, it is. It's challenging. Like it is challenging. We see it every day. You know, I see it every day. I see my wife, you know, because she's the one that's more hands-on. And I'm the one that's more, you know, trying to get projects done, getting work done and stuff like that. So it's challenging.
And it goes back to balance. It's a team effort, bro. Like I can't do what my wife does, stay at home. I just can't. And most of the times you're not wired that way. Like you're more, the woman's always more of the nurturer of the kids. It's just, society wants to wire you differently, but that's where we're at. Like mom nurtures the kids. It is what it is.
Right.
Like, look at the wild. It's the mom nurtures the babies.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, she handles that. She's cool with it. I say, hey, you ever want to go back to work? No, I want to raise my kids.
Yeah.
Like, thank you for letting me raise my kids.
Yeah.
And I think that's what, like now in today's world, most people want to go back to that. Especially like all my friends my age, like all their wives are like, dude, like I want to do that. I want to homeschool my kids.
No, yeah, it's crazy because we've been. So my wife, she has a mobile coffee cart company that we do also on the side part time, and so one of the places that we've been going to provide service, they're what are they called, babe? Homeschool.
Like a homeschool program.
They're
co-ops.
Yeah, co-ops. There you go. They're co-ops. So basically, they're groups. They gather like once a week, right? They gather once a week, and it's just all homeschool moms, you know, with their kids. Sometimes dads will show up too, things like that. And I never knew that world existed, you know, until we started to homeschool, you know. But kind of what you were saying earlier, it's true. Like once you step into that, you because you hesitate. It's like, man, or kind of you go back to your way of thinking where like back then was like, man, yeah, homeschool was weird. Like if you were a homeschool kid, like, you know, you were probably considered kind of weird. Like, you know, we'd probably bully you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but you step into that world and you're like, man, there's so many parents that are thinking the same thing. It might not be the exact same reasons, you know what I mean? Like, but there's a lot of similarities.
I just think as the world gets more and more extreme, bro,
it's getting crazy, man.
And we're talking about social media. Social media continues to get more and more extreme.
Yeah.
This is gonna happen more and more, bro. People don't want that. Like regular society does not want that.
Yeah.
But we always just see the 5% one way and the 5% the other way.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's the world's getting crazy, man. It's changing. It's becoming weirder and weirder, man. It's I know that was one of my wife's biggest fear. You know, it was like, man, I don't want to lose that, you know, and I don't think we should. You know, I feel like the school system should just be there to just do what exactly they said they're gonna do, which is just educate, teach, educate. Teach the essentials, teach what's needed, and that's it. Like
The math, the reading,
the parenting, the sex talks, all these different things. Like, let that be a conversation at home. You know what I mean? Like, if anything, like I one thing I do agree was like, okay, if we need to teach, but still that comes from home. Teaching kids how to be nice to each other, that comes from home. That doesn't come from you educating them a certain way. It just comes from home. Like, if somebody's gonna be, you know, a jerk to other kids or bully other kids, that's usually because it stems from something in home.
Yep.
You know, something is missing.
I agree.
So when they go to school, they're gonna take it out any way they can. They don't have that control. They don't have that love. They don't have that nurturing, you know, at home. So what do they go and they at school, they find that they could be bullies. They find that they could be funny. They find that they could this, and that's where they let loose, you know. But it doesn't mean that you change the education system, you know, to teach something that, you know, should be taught at home.
And then another thing, dude, I think about, it's like, oh, dad's supposed to work. He's supposed to be at home. He's supposed to be there full time too. And I get it, because that's what society wants to tell you. Growing up, my dad would be home very little. He'd work 2 jobs. Every Friday, we talk about getting grounded and going. Every Friday, all of us go back home with our families to where my dad lives, to where we grew up in Linwood. Every Friday, we're there. And this is a guy that was never home. But why is there so much respect for that when society's telling you that's wrong nowadays? Why is it wrong? Because he's providing for his family, that's wrong? Or because they want to change the gender roles? Fuck. I love my dad for doing that for us.
Yeah.
My mom didn't work, dude. It was always my dad working. Now there's ungrateful people that'll be like, oh, my dad was never around. No, bro. Do you know how much sacrifice that is? So this is like a very, very like subject that is just like irritates me, bro, because a society wants to paint you as a bad dad because you're not home. No, you're doing everything you can for your family. And that's what my dad did for us. One of my brothers is a doctor. Put him through medical school. I was a knucklehead, but I figured it out. My other brother's an electrician. My sister owns a restaurant. Like, he was able to provide that possible future for us. We lived in a home. The mortgage was $800. He was making $800 a month for one job. But society now wants to paint that as, oh, if that was today, they would say, oh, he doesn't care about his kids.
Mm-hmm.
When he's giving everything for his kids.
Yeah.
Think about that, bro.
Yeah. No, yeah, that's a good, it is. It really is a good perspective, because I'm on the side where I agree 100% with that perspective. Like, you know, because my dad was the same way. My dad was a provider. You know, he worked hard from 5 a.m. to 6, 7 p.m., 12, 13 hours a day. And so we understood what he was doing it for. Now, I think, though, and this is where we might disagree, though, is I still think, though, that we could still learn. Now, it doesn't mean that we have to change the roles, but I believe, I'm a believer in, we can learn from maybe things that our parents could have done just to bring awareness, not to be a victim. See, that's where I agree. Like, it's not to be a victim, but it's to be able to be like, okay, maybe certain things that my parents, because a lot of times, like, our parents, they didn't do a lot of the nurturing or a lot of the attention because a lot of times they didn't know how to do it.
I'm telling you, on my perspective, I was parented perfectly. For me.
Yeah.
For me. And that's like, I can't, like, people always want to generalize this. I'm talking about me.
Right.
So I was parented perfectly by my dad, and I was parented perfectly by my mom, in the sense of my dad showed us discipline and hard work,
Right.
and my mom showed us love. And my dad showed us love in a different way. Maybe giving us a little extra piece of carne asada on the side. You know?
Right. Right.
That's fine.
Yeah.
But that was for me. So that's where that's where I'm talking about my situation. I believe I was parented perfectly, and he gave everything he had, and he still does till the day.
Right. Right.
So
No, and that's why I'm saying you gotta, each person has to look within themselves. Like for me, for example, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is for me. I parent different because of how I was parented. Doesn't mean that I'm ungrateful. You know, it doesn't mean that, you know, I don't appreciate and love what my parents did, but I was able to take a lot of things that were done in my life and situations that were done in my life and be able to look
like,
at
what's
it.
one thing your parents did that you're doing differently?
So the way I talk to my kids, just simply that.
Okay.
Something as simple as that is like, you know, like, do I still yell? Yeah, of course. You know, todavía grito. You know what I mean? But I apologize.
My dad was a man of few words. He was a man of a belt.
Oh yeah. And you know, so and I still like I there's a lot of things that I take from my parents, like the discipline aspect of it, the hardworking aspect of it. There's a lot of values that I still take on, that I still embody to this day. There's just a different approach. You know what I mean? Because the way that I grew up was a lot different. You know, so I said, I'm going to embody that differently with my kids. Like, that's it. You know what I mean? But I don't try to generalize where it's like, you know, hey, like if this happened to you, automatically, like your dad's, you know what I mean, a horrible person, or your mom's a horrible person. Like, it doesn't mean that. It just means now you can be more aware. You can be more aware to be a better parent. Use that not to victimize yourself, but use that to your advantage to say, okay, if I didn't receive that and I know how it made me feel, then at least I can. And then there's going to be lessons along the way, bro. Like, I'm sure you as kids now, like, I realize, like, el dicho que te decían tus padres, like, un día vas a ver cuando tengas hijos. And as much as you used to hate hearing that, but now it's true. You know what I mean? Like, so now it's like, now that you have kids, you're like, dang. Like, now I know how it feels. Like, cuando se están portando mal at a restaurant, you know, and they're not being bad, but they're, you know, like being obnoxious and loud and rowdy. And, you know, oh, sit down, Timmy. You know what I mean? Like, nah, you like that goes, you throw that out the window and you're like,
I just
sit down.
I just do the look.
The look. You want to go to the bathroom? You know what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I know we probably agree in a lot of things, but that's where we probably just slightly disagree with that. Where
I think it's disagree. I just feel like I don't feel like they've done. It's not disagreeing. I think we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't change anything from my childhood. Anything. And I wouldn't want to change anything for my kids, because I felt I was parented good.
Yeah.
So it's not disagreeing. It's just probably I don't have that perspective because I feel I was parented perfectly.
Yeah. No, that's good. That's really good.
Bro, I still remember, like, they were so busted financially, and you don't think about this till you grow up later. Like, oh, we would go to these like church where they hand out food.
Okay.
I was so pumped. I was like, yeah, we gotta go get some food. And she'd be like, oh, cut the circle out of the mold, bro. She's like, oh, es oscuro, nomás córtalo. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So me and my brother, the doctor and me are 1 year apart, and we just cut it out, you know, and just do our thing. But like, until later on, you gain perspective. Like, damn, they were giving you everything they had, dude.
Right.
Everything. I remember once we went to the store, and my mom, the cops get her, dude. And I'm like, oh, my dad's like, oh, he just wants to talk to her. Well, they didn't have money, bro. What do you think she was doing? We were 5, 6 years old. We didn't know any better. My mom's not a thief, bro. But if you're going to feed your family, you're going to do whatever it takes.
Yeah.
So then later on, you start getting perspective. I'm like, holy shit. Like, we were busted, bro. Yeah. So then you're like, okay, cool. Like, and at all that, during our childhood, we never knew any of this. We were like, oh, you know, like whatever little toy you wanted, they would help you out. Or like, oh, you got to earn it, you know, go clean.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel I was parented perfectly, because even though we were so busted, I never felt like in need of anything.
Yeah. No, yeah, that 100%, man. And I could say the same thing. Like, and I always say that, like, that's one thing. Nunca nos faltó nada. Like, we always had everything that we needed.
In our perspective, right? Other people might be like, "Oh, sí les faltó." But
Yeah. Well,
but
I know, like, for me, like, I didn't start to realize how broke we were until when my parents bought their first house. When they bought their first house, and same thing, like, their mortgage was like $600, bro. I think my mom's mortgage right now still is like, it's like $300-400. It's crazy, man.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, so, you know, and they were so stressed because we went from, you know, we're in the projects, you know, paying probably like $100, you know, and going to, now they were doing you know, $500 more. So I mean, our hair was growing out, like, you know what I mean, like no haircuts, no nothing. Like,
did your
none
mom
of
ever
that.
get to cutting your own hair?
No.
She started cutting our hair.
Thankfully, no.
She started
Bro.
cutting our
Thankfully, no.
hair.
Hey, but I do that with my kids now.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll cut their hair. They're homeschooled now. So I'm like, don't worry about it.
My mom would literally cut our hair, bro.
No, they never got to that
Se ve
point.
bien, ve la escuela. Yeah. We've been getting clowned at school.
Oh, yeah,
And you're like,
bro.
oh, whatever.
Yeah, they would call us the Jackson 5s because our hair was just so big. You know what I mean? So, but once we moved to the house, that's when we realized, because now we're in a more middle class area. And, you know, all the kids at that time, they're, you know, wearing Mecca and Echo pants and, you know, they're, you know, clean shoes, you know what I mean? Like,
Gear.
no dirt in the
No dirt.
creases,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like, you know, we had to like every day brush our shoes. And that's when we realized, like, oh, dang, like, we're broke, you know, like, we're actually, you know, but we saw that our parents were always striving. They were always striving to improve. And we've learned so many lessons from that. And now that's what I do now, is like, I take the experiences, I take the good, you know, and I try to embody that as a good parent. And I try to embody that and teach that to my kids, you know, because the hard work, like, same thing, my son, he's a little hustler. My son, like, he's talkative. He could talk. He could, you know, he's our number one salesman when it comes to coffee, you know, like, he sells.
I think that's the best thing, like teaching your kids how to sell.
That, yeah. I agree. That's one of the things that why I love so much, that I feel our generation, this next generation, is losing, is the power to communicate, is the power to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think sometimes we're so stuck, you know, in what we see, that we forget something as simple as how to carry a conversation, you know? And so that's one thing that I try to teach my kids. I'm like, you got to talk, you got to open your mouth, you got to communicate how you come across, you know what I mean? Like, it's important, you know, making eye contact when needed, shaking somebody's hand, introducing yourself, you know, all that stuff. Because I feel like it's a lost art sometimes with our kids.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
You know? So
I agree.
But yeah, moving on to, I know we gotta probably come to a close now in a little bit, but now to close off, what are some new, because I saw your video that you released not too long ago, and I think you did like what was it, when you kind of, you're side to side with an existing video?
Okay.
What's it called? What is it? Remix?
A remix?
Yeah. You did a remix of a video of some exciting things that are possibly coming to California when it comes to ADU.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So basically, you could build your ADU
Okay.
and then sell it off in your backyard. But most people see that rule as, oh, I'm going to sell it off. You could condoize it and sell it. The way I see it, and the way you should probably see it, and the way anybody watching this should probably see it, is you could refinance it, pull a bunch of equity out, debt. You don't have to pay taxes on that debt. And you could still put a renter back there to pay off that debt.
Yeah.
So it's like a credit card on steroids with 0% interest.
Yeah. That's making its own payments.
It's making its own payments. Yep.
Yeah. And where is that? Where are they currently doing that now? Does that exist in other parts of the U.S.?
Portland. What state is that? Portland.
Oregon?
Oregon. Seattle.
Seattle does
it.
So if you have, like, for example.
So the house is worth 700 racks. The 80 is worth 650. That's literally how the Burman burrs all the time.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He buys a property, builds an ADU, sells off the house or refinances the house and refinances the ADU, pulls all his money back out and goes and does it again.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm always in his video he's like, instead of buying this property, I bought this property, tore it down, built 3 properties. I'm like, dang, how did he do that? But that's in Seattle.
That's in Seattle.
So
it's a
that's
very-
coming here to California.
It's coming here to California, and then every
It's still,
state.
so it's still in the works.
Yeah, every state's gonna have to pick up their own every city. I mean,
Every city.
what they're gonna want to do. Right now, for one of our properties, we're doing what's called SB9. That got approved last year, January last year.
Talk about that.
So we're splitting the lot. It's a single family residence. The good thing is that the house sits all the way in the front. It's a 12,000 square foot lot.
Okay.
We're splitting the lot down the middle. So now it's gonna have 2 different owners, but the 2 different owners are gonna be me. And we're gonna do a duplex in the back and then a duplex in that front. So we're gonna add another unit to that front. But now we're getting values of duplexes. So values of duplexes in that area are like 1.1, 1.2 million.
Wow.
And we picked up that property for around 585. Construction's gonna be around 600. So we'll probably just be in equity about $1 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what city is that?
Downey.
In Downey.
Mm-hmm.
But that's, so is that the same, is that SB9 only applicable to certain cities too?
It's across
Or is
the
that
state.
across the
Yeah,
state,
most of the
California?
state pushed in on it, most of the cities, but now the state is pushing the cities to do it, right? And every city has their own little ordinances with what they want to do or what they don't want to do.
Yeah.
It's not easy,
Yeah.
but it's worth it for a big play at the end.
Yeah. What about, I have a question when it comes to, the camera. Oh, the battery? That's okay. Oh, it's cool.
There's going to be a lot of editing on this one.
Yeah, you're really going to have to teach me the black magic, the Da Vinci.
Connect the cameras directly to the power when you're recording.
This one, yeah. This one has a dummy battery. I need to get one for that. Yeah. Is good? All right. And so we're the SB9. So in terms of, okay, we talked about that already. We talked about the SB9. So my other question is, for people who have bought in properties and let's say there is an existing ADU but without permits or anything, how can a person go about that? I know every city is different, right? So
On this, not so much, dude. So they don't want you to bring everything up to code. Right?
okay.
So let's say I want to see the electrical behind this wall right here. How am I going to see the electrical? The inspector's going to want to see it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you got to get rid of the drywall.
Okay.
Now, what if they want to see the plumbing behind this bathroom here? The actual water pipes. You're going to have to get rid of the tile from the shower.
Yeah.
You're going to have to test the water, like make sure the water holds.
Yeah.
And then you're going to have to test the gas lines. So what I'm trying to get to is these inspectors don't have x-ray vision. So anything that was done unpermitted to today's standards, it's not going to fly.
Yeah.
So as soon as you pull architectural plans for this, they're going to want to see everything.
Everything.
So my suggestion to everybody that's doing this
Yeah.
is don't poke the bear if the bear hasn't seen you.
Yeah.
Just let it be. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. The reason why I asked is because not too long ago I had heard something that, and I think it was maybe it was a few years ago where cities were being a lot more lenient with garage conversions. And so they were allowing even existing garages that maybe had, things, or they had people living in there. They were being a lot more lenient to allowing them to bring them up to code.
Yeah. But of course, all cities are being lenient. But what does lenient mean?
Yeah.
Go get plans and get everything up to code.
Yeah.
To 2023 standards.
Yeah.
So if you did your ADU unpermitted 30 years ago, 20 years ago,
Yeah.
they want to see everything.
Yeah.
So yes, they're being lenient. They're saying, hey, you could build an ADU now,
Yeah.
totally legal, but at what cost?
Yeah.
And then people get excited and they go and they poke the bear, and then that's when they're in trouble.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, oh, I thought it was going to be like $5,000. No, it's not. It's everything all over.
Yeah.
It's actually going to cost you more because you got to demo everything and redo
Yeah.
it. We've done a few of those, just so you know.
Yeah.
So I don't recommend it.
Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Unless the city finds out, and then you just
Then
gotta
you
go.
have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's crazy, man. So don't poke the bear.
Yeah.
All right. And then so as far as the new laws, how long do you think that'll take? I mean, how are things looking as far as
From what I'm seeing, because we're doing a SB9 for ourselves, it's been 2 years. So 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah.
Wow.
And now we're finally getting approval. So I'm thinking all this stuff's gonna happen. You're gonna have the first adopters that are gonna do it. They're gonna get their ass handed to them, kind of like I'm doing with the SB9, getting my ass handed to me.
Man, 2 years.
And then after that, cities will adopt it and move a lot quicker.
So you finally just got it approved.
Mm-hmm.
Man. And I mean, is that bleeding you guys money?
Not really.
No, because
It's rented.
okay. So also it's already occupied.
The one house. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good, man. That's awesome, man. So, is there anything else, man, that you want to throw in there for the audience, or something you want to leave them with?
Just do videos, bro. Just do videos. You want to get your business out there, do more videos, stuff that people will be interested that they probably don't know about your business. And don't overthink it, dude. Just like grab a phone.
Yeah.
They sell a bunch of these little mics on the phones now that you could just connect right on.
Yeah.
Just boom, shotgun mic, start recording. That's it, dude.
Yeah. There you have it, man. There you have it, guys. So whether you're barely starting your business or you've been in business for many years, just get it done. Get it done. Start. I'm huge on just starting and just doing it and getting your image out there. There's a lot of restaurants out there, especially here in the IE, that are just full of potential. There's so much that you guys have a great product. You guys have so much to offer, but you guys are against the wall. Like, should I start? Should I not? Like he said, just start. I mean, imagine, 1 month, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're 1 month. In 1 month, from posting 3 videos a day, which is what, like 90 videos, right? And 90 videos that, time that he invested into that, but it landed him in 1 month, right? It landed you a $300,000 sale, so you never know. You never know what can happen, through social media. So just get out there and just do it. Eric, man, thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much for coming on here, man. Thank you. Again, it's crazy, man, because we're just, like I said, especially those that are in the construction industry.
Check, dog. I don't want my commission check. That's it.
None of them have signed yet. No, I'm just kidding. No, but yeah, I appreciate it, man. So it was cool, real cool, man. And so make sure you make sure you subscribe, and share this. Share this with somebody that is going to learn something from this, man. Stay tuned to the next episode. This was Offbeat Podcast. Let's go.